Doppelganger is a German word meaning double taker. In the world of paranormal, a doppelganger is often portrayed as a ghostly or paranormal phenomenon. A doppelganger is like your evil twin. It is a sinister or evil entity out to get you. Others believe that doppelgangers are a form of demons, hence why it's said to be bad luck if you see your doppelganger. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and in today's video, let's take a look at some of the scariest doppelganger stories. Starting off this countdown, we have The Patient. Alright, so this story was shared by Peter Brugger when he worked at the University Hospital Zurich in Switzerland. Peter had a fascination for the paranormal. While he was there, a young man was admitted to the hospital for having seizures. One night while staying at the hospital, the patient freaked out and tried to take his own life by jumping out of the 4th floor window of his room. Now, he shouldn't have survived, but he ended up landing on a bush, so that kind of cushioned his fall. The next day, he revealed that he saw his doppelganger in his room laying on his bed. At first, he didn't know that the man was himself. He thought just someone else was in his bed. So he went over and shook the man awake. That's when he realized that it was himself. An uncontrollable feeling took over his entire body, and the only way to make it stop, he said, was to take his own life. Terrifying, isn't it? In our 7th spot today, we have The Evil Mother. When this next individual was 9 years old, they were severely bullied in school. So they decided to pretend to be sick one day so that they could avoid going to school and seeing their bullies. So they had just woken up from a nap and were chilling in the living room watching TV when she saw her mother lean into the room and just start staring at her. Right off the bat, she knew that this was not her mother. Like, it looked like her mother, but something was off about her. She knew it in her gut that that woman was not her mother. Then the woman started calling to her, telling her to come over. That's when she started screaming and she ran out of the room. She actually ran outside of the house, and that's when she ran into her real mother. Her real mother was outside doing gardening this whole time. The little girl told her mother what happened, and her mom just blamed it on a fever dream. But she knows that what she saw was real. In our 6th spot today, we have The Silent Ones. Now, this family seems to be haunted by doppelgangers. They have encountered doppelgangers of their family members on multiple occasions. The first time was when one of their brothers saw his sister upstairs in their house and told her to go downstairs for lunch. She never responded. When he walked downstairs, he saw his sister sitting there. Now, number one, she couldn't have passed him on the way downstairs. Like, there's only one set of stairs. And number two, the sister was wearing a completely different outfit. When he went back upstairs to check out what he saw, the doppelganger was gone. Now, the next time, the sister of the narrator actually saw the narrator's doppelganger. So she was using his computer when all of a sudden he walked in the room. He just stood at the doorway and watched her. She thought her brother was just being annoying, you know, classic brother, and so just ignored him and continued doing work. It wasn't until later that she realized that her brother didn't come home until 4 p.m. that day, so it couldn't have been him staring at her. So, that's creepy. And at number 5, we have The Woman in the Mirror. This next story comes from a woman that has been haunted by her doppelganger for years now. Every night when she has to get up to go to the bathroom, she will see herself standing in the bathroom mirror from the corner of her eye. Wow, she's not even in the bathroom. It freaks her out like crazy, but she's at the point where she just ignores it. Now, she never told anyone before, not even her husband. That was until her husband started seeing her doppelganger. One day she took a nap while her husband sat in the chair next to her watching TV. When she woke up, her husband freaked out, saying that he had seen her sit up and crawl backwards to the edge of the bed and stand up in front of the bedroom door. He tried talking to her like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing? Come back." When she didn't answer, he looked at the door and saw that she was no longer there. He looked back at the bed and his wife was still sleeping. She had never gotten up. In our 4th spot, we have The Imposter Father. This story was posted on Reddit by the user Geobite. One Sunday morning, the narrator and his brother were watching TV when they heard a knock on the door. When he heard the knock, he ran over to the window to see who it was. I don't know about you, but me and my brother used to do this all the time. Someone at the door, we would kind of just sneak over to the window to see who it was. So he looked at the window and he saw that it was his dad. So he went to unlock the door. That's when his mom came rushing in and pulled him away from the door. The mother was saying to never open the door to strangers, but he was like, That's not a stranger, Mom. That's Dad. So she took a look out the window and started panicking like crazy. Turns out that their dad was upstairs napping this entire time. So the man at the door was not their dad. She ran upstairs to wake up her husband, and he came running downstairs with the bat. By the time he had opened the door, his doppelganger had left. And that's a good thing for him. Like, what happens if you open the door and he encountered his doppelganger? It would have been bad luck for him. Moving on to number 3, we have the closed door. So for this next story, a girl and her father were in the hallway of their house talking. That's when she saw her mother walk past them and into the room and shut the door behind her. They then walked to the living room where they saw the mom still asleep on the couch. So then who was the lady that they saw walk past them into the bedroom? They both were terrified and they left the living room and made their way back to the bedroom. The door was still closed. That night, none of them went into that room. Good call. I wouldn't have either. In our second spot today, we have the prankster doppelganger. Back in middle school, a guy went over to his friend's house for a party. The girl's mom always worked late, so they often threw little parties there. Everyone was in the living room except for the girl and her boyfriend, who were in a room, you know, getting it on, bow chicka wow wow. That was until the girl came out of the room and started yelling at the guy from the living room. She said that he had walked by the room and kicked the door open. Obviously, he didn't do it, but the couple were adamant that he came, kicked open the door, and when they looked up, they saw him standing at the door. What did this doppelganger want? Why was he kicking the door open? Why was he so angry? Maybe the doppelganger likes the girl and was jealous. I don't know. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the dog. So this one was put on the list for all you Skinwalker fans out there. Because was it a doppelganger or was it a Skinwalker? All right, so it was midnight and this guy let his dog out to go potty. He left the door ajar and a little while later, he called his dog to come back in. Now, he was distracted in the kitchen, but he knew his dog had come in because he heard the dog's little like pitter patter on the hardware floor. You know when dogs like drag their nails on the you know what it sounds like. So he closed the door, and a bit later he heard his dog outside barking to be let in. He opened the door and there his dog was. So who did he let in earlier? Was it a Skinwalker, or was the dog outside that was barking to come in a Skinwalker? I don't know. All right, guys, that's all for today's video, but exciting news. I am bringing back comment shoutouts due to popular demand. First off, I want to say shout out to the amazing fan that I met when I was in Turks and Caicos. If you're watching this video, please comment down below, because that was the first time I ever got recognized in public, and it just so happened to be when I was on vacation. So sweetest guy ever. He came up and he's like, I think I know you from the internet. Yeah, so shout out to you. Also, huge shout out to the Kastner family, who I met through CAMEO, which is you can request a custom video or you can talk to me on there. They reached out to me and said that they love watching my videos, and same with their kids. So hi, Anthony, Kayla, and Colin. All right, and then I'll be shouting out some comments from my last video, Creepiest Craigslist Ads Part 10. So Catman Dawn said, your reactions are the best. Love you, Miss Lindsay and Miss Nico. Thank you so much. I love doing like funny reaction videos. Also, side note, I have been editing all my videos lately from like January onwards. I'm still best friends with Nico, but she has 2 full-time jobs and unfortunately has no time to edit. But if you like the edits, thank you, because I have been doing it myself. So thank you. I'm sure I'll have Nico help out or guest star in the future. So if you want to see her on this channel, let us know in the comments below what video we should film together. Alex Sam Carroll, who always comments, so shout out to you. Best part of my day is when you post videos. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. I always look forward to your comments. And Rusty Shackleford commented, every single one? Yes, I read every single comment, every single one. People get confused. They're like, well, you didn't respond. I read the comments, I like most of them, I comment on most of them. If I don't respond, trust me, I have read your comment. I scroll through and read them for days, so don't you worry. All right, guys, that's all for today's video. If you like this video and you like spooky shit, then smash that like button. Obviously, subscribe to my channel. I've been your host, Lindsay. Oh, and obviously comment something down below so that you can be featured in my next comment shout out. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll show you when I show you. Bye. Smells like something's burning. Hope my building isn't on fire. Knock on wood. I've been your host. Sorry.
Disgusting!